Again, thanks for watching, downloading, subscribing, and listening to Picture Lock, where we focus on film. My next guest is another up-and-coming film critic and director. You can check him out on Twitter at 10 bucks a throw. Bryan Loy, welcome to Picture Lock.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here.
Well, it's really good to have you here. I've studied some of your work, and you are a film geek as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, so I got to start at the beginning. When did you first fall in love with film?
Oh, goodness. Well, I remember the very first movie I ever saw in theaters, and it was the Disney Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is a really dark film to be taking your 3-year-old to. Watching it now, I look back like, wow, like I watched this when I was 3 years old. But anyway, I walked out of the theater with my mom, and I tugged on her sleeve and I said, "Mommy, there was a lot of fire in that movie." And that was my first ever movie review. But when it wasn't until years later I saw The Incredibles, and that was when I decided I need to do this as, this is what my life needs to be. I need to work in the movies. I need to be able to talk about movies and share my excitement, because The Incredibles really kind of sparked my interest in a way that, it has had an incredible impact on my life.
The Incredibles is an incredible movie.
Yes, it
and
is.
So is it, okay, 2 questions. Do you really love the animation? Because that was 2 animated films.
Yeah.
But then also, what was it about The Incredibles that really inspired you? Or?
Yeah, I think, well, I love all types of film. I'm a big fan of animation, but really just put a screen in front of me and I'll watch it. I'll give any movie a chance. I just adore watching movies. I'd rather be watching a movie than not watching a movie, so there you go. But The Incredibles, I don't know, it was just so fresh and funny, and I think I was like 11 or 12 at that time, so when you're 11 years old, holy cow, is that a movie? Like it's a lot of fun. I still love it to this day.
Yeah. So you're currently a student at GMU in their film program.
Yeah.
What inspired you to just to go to film school? I think you kind of touched on that already.
Yeah, I can't imagine doing anything else, really. I mean, I just adore film with every fiber of my being. I want to inhale it. I want to, like I said, I'd rather be watching a movie than not watching a movie. So I just figured that this is what I need to do. I need to go to school for this and be able to take film classes and learn new things. And that's really what inspired me to get into film school.
Yeah, it's interesting. I totally understand. It's one of those things that if you could get paid to do it,
yeah.
I mean, you don't really have to get paid, know
Right.
what I mean? But like you said, I was like that growing up. My brother, he would want to play PlayStation. I'd be like, nah, where's a movie? Let's
Right.
VHS though. I don't know if you ever experienced the
yeah. Oh,
okay,
yeah.
Okay. With the rewind, rewind. Okay.
Of course, Be Kind, Rewind.
Yeah.
Right?
All right, so you're the co-director of a short film called Playthings. Can you just tell us what the film is about?
Yeah, absolutely. So Playthings is the story of a young boy named Mason who befriends the monster in his closet. And this is a friendship that continues even when he's, older. And his relationship with the monster begins to kind of encroach upon his personal life and maybe even his sanity a little bit. And it's a film that it's definitely not literal. You can definitely take away a lot of different interpretations from it. Because there's kind of this debate that people seem to have whether or not the monster's real, whether it's all in his head or not. That is something that kind of interested me about the story, and I helped to co-write it. But a buddy of ours in the George Mason film program came to us with this script and said, like, do you want to collaborate on this? Do you want to make this film? And we were like, yeah, because it was such a neat idea. The idea of, like, a lot of little kids, pretend, or they think that there's a monster in the closet. But what if that kind of imagination, stuck with you and like later in life.
Right,
you know what
right.
I mean?
And I think that's the interesting part of the whole film is that, you see him as a kid and then later, at least in the trailer, you see him as an adult that's like sitting by the closet. What inspired that concept? Because like you said, a lot of times you think about the monster that's in the closet, but only as a kid.
Sure.
So, and I don't know, is it scary? Like, it does look a little bit creepy, but like...
It's creepy.
Yeah.
It's creepy. It's more of a character study because it's less about the monster itself and more about how it it affects his personal life, because he has a girlfriend, and she, of course, doesn't really understand, because if your significant other came to you and said, oh, I'm best friends with this monster, like I've been best friends with this monster ever since I was little,
yeah,
you'd be kind of confused, so it's kind of their relationship that's really the center of the film. There's creepy moments. We definitely wanted to create an atmosphere of kind of unease throughout the whole thing, but it's definitely more about the characters and how they interact.
So what would you say, what was your experience like going from taking this idea, co-writing it, and now, actually you had told me you had just screened at a film festival. So.
Yes, in New York, yeah. It's the first like short film that I've ever made, and I made it with my friend Bryan Loy. We're collectively known as the Bryans. But we co-directed it, and we have different strengths and weaknesses. He's more of the technically minded director, and I'm more of the actor's director and kind of getting performances out of people, and I'm more the writer, like the more creative side, and he's the more technical side. And we balance each other out really well in that way. And so it was a lot of fun making it because, because of those strengths and weaknesses and how they balance each other out, and we were able to just like work together so well and so organically. But yeah, we sent it off to some film festivals, and it's gotten into a few, and we're really proud of it. Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
All right, so what's some of the best films that you think you've seen so far this year?
Oh my God. Well, Mad Max Fury Road is the best movie ever.
Okay.
That was an exaggeration for comedic purposes, but when I
yeah, because I was like...
I had never seen any of the other Mad Max movies before I walked into this one, so I kind of walked in, I was just like, okay, well, whatever, I just want to watch a movie,
Right.
I wasn't really, and it blew my mind. I went out of the theater like wanting to just tell it on the mountain how much I loved this movie. It's great. It's one of the most exciting movies that's come along in a while. I adored it. It Follows was a really good horror movie. Ex Machina was just excellent. I really like Jurassic World.
Really?
I enjoy watching dinosaurs go rawr, and dinosaurs went rawr in Jurassic World. So
they did, and women also ran around with high heels the entire time.
Yes, it was schlock and it was goofy, but I enjoyed it as a monster movie, as a throwback. It was a good time.
Right. Now, film is subjective, right? So that's
the
thing.
Beauty of it. Yeah.
What I may love, you may hate.
That's great.
And vice versa, right?
Sure.
All right. So, do you have any filmmaking plans for the future, as well as with your film criticism?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I did keep up a blog for a while called $10 a Throw, and that was like my where I posted film reviews and such. And I kept that going for a couple of years, but like Playthings and school, and it all just kind of, took time away from my writing.
Yeah.
I started up a YouTube channel last year, but again, Playthings kind of took away from that. So I'm hoping to kind of, now that Playthings is settling down a little bit, I'm hoping to kind of get back to my, my one true love, which is writing and talking about film. We are in pre-production for another short film coming up called The 2nd September, and it's a musical, which is not a genre that, you don't see a lot of short musical films made by college kids.
Right.
But we wanted to try something different. It's a little daunting because it is such a difficult genre to kind of nail down and to really get right. But I have confidence. I'm ready. Again, I'm ready to tackle a musical. It's not
awesome.
Well, it's not bursting out into song, West Side Story type musical, but it's about musicians.
Right.
And because of that, the music comes very organically, and the story is kind of driven by the music. So
Okay.
that's on the horizon at some point in the future. But I'd really like to get back to, my blog and my YouTube page, because I just have such a blast doing that.
Well, cool. All right, Bryan, how can people find you or, view your work, etc.?
Sure. Well, they can follow me on Twitter, because I post film musings. I send things out into the Twitter sphere. They can search $10 a throw in YouTube and find a couple videos. I reviewed like Godzilla and X-Men and stuff last year, but it's only a few videos, but I really hope to get back to that, because I have such a blast doing that. 10bucksathrow.blogspot.com is where they can find some of my written reviews, but again, I haven't updated that since since Playthings. But
Cineraffe.
Cineraffe is my production company that I have with Brian Bano, the other Brian. Search Cineraffe, definitely, because we're really excited about Playthings, and hopefully people can check it out in the near future. We can put it up online and have people watch it.
Get scared.
Oh yeah.
Something creepy.
Creeped out. Too spoopy. Too spooky.
All right. Well, Bryan, thanks for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
Thank you for having me. Yep.
No doubt. We'll take a short break and be back to talk about a Kickstarter campaign that's worth your backing. Stay tuned.